change one bit. I'm like, okay, if you say so.
You look same way.
Thank you, love.
Just used to be little and stocky. That's all I remember.
Whoa. Wait there. I'm trying to get this thing to sit because I can't find my thing that I normally put up here.
Okay. So we are live
Oh,
on YouTube. Let me just put a note here. Thursday night. All right, I'm just putting in a little note. All right. Yeah. That's enough. You start giving trouble.
I'm trying because I have this my 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Huh? You're seemingly good, but I'm not hearing you. No.
You hearing me?
You sound a little low though. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. So, guys, welcome to Uniquely Me, another Thursday Night Live. Thank you so much, of course, for the support, guys. Here we talk everything. Who's sing the? Oh, it's yours. Okay. We talk everything woman. This is your all woman station. So, of course, on a Saturday night, we go live with the stories of trauma and transformation. And then on Thursday, we come with, just our chit chat, girls chit chat kind of thing. What's affecting our women? How do we impact our women? How do we guide our women along the path of transformation? And so, guys, tonight we are going to be we're going two different ends of the spectrum. We're going to be talking period because of course today we end our period poverty campaign collection drive, and then at 7:30 into 8 o'clock we'll be talking savings and investments, so you want to stick around for that. But right now I have my childhood friend, literally, oh my god, Careta, we're coming back from where? Grade one? The grade one we come from, flankers all age.
Yes, ma'am.
all the way, oh my god, all of primary school. You went Mount Alvernia.
Correct.
Right, and I went Herbert Morrison. Right, but we were from basically the same community, same church, same everything. Oh my god, it's so good to see you, girl. I'm giving you a hug.
That's a really cool hug. And the funny thing about it is, even though we went to different high school and we never see each other as how we would, the love and the connection never changes.
Yeah.
Some people, they fall out of that after certain years, they miss a beat, but we just still keep intact and never
Exactly.
change.
Exactly. I was saying to somebody that, well, because my husband is also from Montego Bay, and I find that every time we travel down, once we get to airport, right on the where you choose between top road or bottom road,
Mhm.
it's like something happens, the atmosphere changes. We're in celebratory mood. You're looking outside to see if you see anybody on the road that that kind of thing. Camaraderie is just awesome.
Yeah.
So it's literally great to see you, my darling. But
Thank
tonight
you.
we are, we decided we're talking everything period. And I want to say thanks to you, of course, for contributing to that drive. For a while to Careta, like you, I didn't know that was and period poverty was an issue here, right? I mean, for as long as I can remember, back to my, as a matter of fact, just rolling back this week, I was thinking back about when my own period started. And I remember somebody were talking about it this week, that our parents didn't talk about it. Nobody wanted to talk about period. And I don't know if you remember when you went to get a pack ups, and then it was safer at the time. Because we never have always done anything there. But you don't go for regular stuff. You don't go with just pick up a pack of pad. You need to have a paper bag with it and all of them something there. But what was it like for you, Careta? Did you, when you started out, did you have somebody to guide you through the whole issue of a period, what it is, how you need to take care of yourself for it?
Yes, well, because I was the last of the siblings and the girl, so I have an older sister. So I have aunts, I have cousins, and so the whole thing, I tried to, when I was much younger, put it on, want to see what it feels like, you know, I'm like, okay, so everybody wearing it, so it's a whole thing, but it's a great thing when you have um family members to help you and to guide you. You got to take 2 baths a day or 3 baths a day. You have, and back then they were like, you have to have this type of underwear that you wear versus when you go out. And, it's just, you got to look behind yourself and, because it was very shameful, right? When a woman may come up and their clothes get messed up, it was, it was not like, I understand it's more of a pride thing. So having that background helped. And like I said, living here in the US, I never had a clue that this was happening in Jamaica. I was blown away. And it's when I stumbled upon I think it was Facebook I saw it on or something, and I'm like, I reach out to you and I'm like, I never, and I flow go flow or something on IG, and I'm like, I had to do something because it just hit me to the core, and that's where I'm from, and every little bit counts, every little bit helps, and I was just in awe, couldn't believe that this was really happening there.
That's so true. And I'm just gonna pause just a quick minute just to welcome Annika. Annika has joined in. Annika is one of my past guests. Annika, can you hear me? Awesome. And you're hearing Carita as well?
Yes, I am.
Awesome, awesome. So we're coming to you shortly, Anika, because you have your own real life experience, of what period poverty is. But going back, Carita, so you had sisters. I remember you had some older sisters and stuff, and what's a whole heap of family. For me, we didn't have, so apart from my mom, I was the eldest one at home. But we used to have this girl who used to stay home, at the house with us, and she used to have terrible periods. So for some strange reason, I guess my mom thought that from there, I should know
Right.
how to change a pad or how to put one on and that kind of thing. But I'm looking back now and I'm saying to myself, the kind of the kind of openness that we have now and stuff, it was just
It
not
wasn't there.
there. Right?
Mm-mm.
Because honestly, she never took the time to tell me what it means. The only thing I remember is that one, you're told that it is you start a period now, make sure so you don't have no sex, because you will get
Mhm.
pregnant, and that was it. And I don't even remember if a matter of fact, no, she never said nothing about no sex. You must stay away from boys or something to that effect. That was what it was. And stuff. But for me, I will tell you that looking back, and I mean, I stopped and I really look back at it, I realized I had society had told us it's a shameful thing.
Mhm.
If you're going to, like I said earlier, if you're going to go buy pad, you can't. Nobody enough to know about it, enough to mix with nothing else. It's
Mhm.
taboo. You must send boys go buy pad and the whole
Mhm.
works. I don't know if
Mhm.
you had any such experience.
Well, the thing about it is, coming from White House and Baflanca, whatnot, it was like when you go to they always wrap it separately, right? And then, um, you, you know, I think because of my siblings, it was more for them to be a boy. it wasn't, I never had that um shamefulness, right? Because we were very close. So some things that what I see, even to this day,
Mm-hmm.
if my brother lives here and if I call him now and say, hey, can you pick up a pack of Maxi or whatever, he's gonna go get it. And there's no
Mm-hmm.
question asked, right?
Yeah.
So, and then I know of families who were like, oh no, it's a boy thing, they wouldn't do it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it was the norm that boys never get into things like that.
Yeah.
Men never get into things like that. But for sure, when you go to the store, it's
Mm-hmm.
wrapped differently. It's separated in a paper bag. They put it in
Mm-hmm.
a cleaner paper first, and then they
Yes.
wrap it, and they put it,
Like a meat. Uh-huh.
you
I
know,
remember. Yes.
yeah, and I'm like, what in the world? And so society, you really, everything was about no boys now, you're going to get pregnant now. And, you know, it's just a fear. It was never about teaching. It was,
Yes.
it was just more, don't do this, but
Mm-hmm.
not giving you why you should not do
They'll
this,
do it. Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And what comes with it, So it was like some people were in high school, there were girls who have periods for 2 days,
Yeah.
you know.
Yes. Yes.
Remember, Malta Vernus White,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have people, girls were seeing it for a week, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and that wasn't the norm. So we were never taught that our bodies are different.
Yes.
We have, our cells are different. So we can't use one to judge everybody or say, well, okay, you're going to have it this day. So we were never really taught by our parents, in a sense, the
Mm-hmm.
whole aspect of menstrual cycle,
Yes.
what comes with it, how to prepare for it, and when it comes, what you need to do.
So,
And
right.
I think that in school, because some will never get it, right? It
Yeah.
still should be somewhere it's taught,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because now we've seen it's a pandemic,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
It's really a pandemic, and it's not going to go away tomorrow
Mm-hmm.
or the next day. So
Yeah.
what are we going to do? Because like I mentioned to you earlier, we can talk about it as much as we can, and it's glad that the awareness is out there. So people
Mm-hmm.
like me would have never known that, right?
Yeah.
But what is it that we're going to take to say, okay, fine, I need a help, but how can I help for it to help others? What
Yes.
do we put in
Yes.
place for the, because as I said, period comes every month.
Right. Ah,
So
that's
even if
true.
we do give out 2,000, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The next, what's going to happen the next month and the next month and the next month?
Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to put in place to keep it going,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So we can say, well, at least we know some good is coming out of this, and we're helping, these young ladies and women,
Yeah.
you know, in this with this pandemic, really.
Pandemic, exactly. Well, we're gonna get there shortly because that's part of the initiative why we had started this here at Uniquely Me. But there are in my search and trying to get persons on board. That's how I started learning of some of the stories. I look back at my own experience, of course, and I realized, yeah, I used to use tissue, but that was a choice because I was ashamed and afraid. So I didn't know how to go and ask my mom for money to purchase Stay Free at the time because that's what was on the market.
Hmm.
And then it was kind of pricey.
Yep.
And the next thing, as you said, nobody educated us to say, hey, you're to expect this time of the month and that kind of thing. So I used to remember in all age school, and this is hail to flankers all age. We just noticed that, hey, you got up and somebody say your clothes mess up and stuff. And I remember, Carita, I had this rain cloak. Anytime you see me with that rain cloak, I don't have no pad. It's period time, and that's all I have to use to cover my clothing. And
Hmm.
so rain or fall or anything, it was just my outer clothing to guard myself. But Annika, I want to pull Annika in here because for me, I don't think it was period poverty of such for me in terms of not being able to afford it. I think for me, it was the shame, the stigma, the pride to some degree, but it was what we were cultured around. But for Annika, I know you had a real life. No, for you, it was real serious period poverty. I want you to share with us, what was it like for you? What is it that you had to do? What did you have to endure too as a result of having a period?
For me, it wasn't like in the stages of growing up, but come to be a young adult now having kids, and you know that the responsibility of life drops on your shoulder, where
Yeah.
you are now your caregiver and your kids' caregiver. And days when I didn't have it, tissue, cloth, napkin, and because of this, you had daily where you go to the bathroom multiple times because you got to keep on checking if your clothes is gonna mess up and stuff like that. I remember at a point, now me being a mother, and that is in my period, and my daughter is in her period, and there is like the one left in the bag, and I had to make a choice as a mother that listen, I can't use this last one because my daughter is going to need it. So you cut around strips of cloth and you use it because that's what you have to use at the time. So you use it. If there's no tissue there, it's gonna be cloth. If there is no napkin, it's gonna be cloth.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll put on like 1, 2, 3 underwears to say, listen, if it mess up this, probably by the time you're supposed to get a napkin, then it will be controlled by then.
Right.
That is what I had to do.
Right.
And it is real, and many people are ashamed by it, but it is a real thing. Poverty is real.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to rope you in this, Annika. I see Venice has joined. Venice, you'll stick around with us a little bit. We're having the first half of our conversation talking about period poverty being a real issue here in Jamaica. So I'll soon come over to you for, of course, if you have anything you want to share, you can feel free to join in until we get to your segment. But guys, if you are listening, thank you so much again for tuning in. Feel free to, put your questions in the comment box. We'd love to hear from you too. What is your take on the whole matter of period poverty and the whole matter of sending boys to buy pad or sanitary napkin, that kind of thing, because that used to be taboo. I don't know if it's still taboo. Annika, you have any sons? Do you send them to buy sanitary napkin?
No, I have a son, he's 13. I don't send him to buy sanitary.
Why not?
Honestly, I just don't. And I think it is in the era that they are in, me sending him to buy that, trust me, Jamaicans would say, him can't hold on him head for that. Him can't go hold on him head. Can't go right. Your mother, send you go buy it, you must be mad. Me? Never did I go. So things like that. So I just avoid that. So I don't send him to buy. I don't send him. But I make him aware. I give him enough knowledge for him to know that, listen, there is no shame in this. One day you're going to get married. You don't know what can happen to your wife. And you're going to need to buy this.
Yeah.
You have to go and get it for her.
I don't know. I'm thinking that is something, I'm happy that it is something now being talked about a lot more now, because of we're discovering that period poverty is not just about the fact that one, you can't afford period sanitary napkins, but now it is becoming a pandemic, as Careta said, in that typical example, if you call in and say, hey, I'm having cramps and so I can't come in today. Let me ask, Venice, you're in the corporate sector. Let me ask the first question that you're asked when you say you're having cramps. What's the first question you're asked?
Well, the first question is, are you having your period? Are you expecting your period? So that prompt is always associated with your period. So yes, that's the first question.
Oh, well, that's not the question that I usually get. Careta, let me see if you're on the ball with this. You call in and you say, listen, I'm having cramps. You know, even say, because they kind of allude to the fact that it's a period. But you say you're having cramps. What's the first thing that they said to you? And you say you want to sit out the day. You know, what normally comes next?
Well, I really don't actually say that question because corporate here, you don't give out details. It's like I'm taking a sick day, right? And that's it, right?
Oh.
Because in their clause, here, when I was in corporate America, is the fact that your sick day is your sick day. You don't need to explain why you're taking a sick day. Now, if you are at work and then you say, hey, I'm taking, a sick day because of, if you're cool with them, of your, mentally be like, well, why did you come to work then? Why didn't you stay home? But it's not a thing that is openly stated in regards to your health. It's just take a sick day. So it's kind of different in here than it would be in Jamaica. I've never worked in Jamaica, so I don't know. But it's not something that you blatantly say, I'm taking off because I'm having cramp.
Oh,
You don't work here.
okay. Well, here, first thing you're asked. Yes, Venice.
I would say the same thing, because if I'm not feeling well, I would just probably call in to say I'm not feeling well. If it's somebody that you're speaking to that you're more comfortable with, and they might ask you if that is the case. But generally, I mean, working in corporate for probably over 21 years. Something like that. Yes, they don't really ask you if that is the case, and you have to be comfortable with the person. You just take a sick day and that's it.
Exactly.
Well, the question I've heard being asked is, you take something for it, and once you take something for it, the next thing is, once you take something, come in, not so Annika.
Yeah, that's how it is. Little cramp now kill you. Come and work. You can work. Take 2 pills and come. Yeah.
But and it is something, because it is seen like, I know nothing. But what we have found though at the same time is that those same cramps or the same period has caused so many of our girls, especially, well, girls, to have missed out on an education because they have missed at least one day from school. When I look back for myself, even as an adult, prior to having children, I realized if I was to follow my period, I'd miss a day every month. And the thing is, the thought of missing work one day every month, it was not something that was welcoming or acceptable per se. So here it was that, again, I'm blaming it on my period for not being able to stay home because I'm not feeling well. And then the thought that I might be fired or looked down upon, or the fact that I can't get a proper education. I don't know if anybody want to take that up, if, some of the different side effects of a period.
But Simone, while you're saying that, we can take it a step further in terms of women where fibroids come into play,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And what we have seen over the years is a lot of young ladies having these menstrual deficiency, and what would normally be 5 days or 7 days or whatever, now it's 2 weeks. They don't know what's going on. They don't think it's a normal thing, right? One, they don't go to see a OBGYN, right? And now it's something that is now wrong within their body, and they don't know. And then now the bleeding is a consistency that goes on, and by the time they get caught up with it, it's cancerous, it's fibers, it's, they have, pancreatic cancer. All these things leads to these things because that's what it starts from. And so education has to come into play, where we have to, like you said, take a pill and come to work, whatever it is, come in, not knowing that it's not just that on my cycle, it's affecting my body, my mind, me. I can't give you 100% coming to work because I'm mentally, physically, emotionally drained. I'm going through this. So it's more than just say, oh, take a pill and come in because, you'll be all right. It's more, and then until you figure that part out, then we'll be like, oh, you're bleeding because you have hormone imbalance, you have fibroids, you have all these things that affect women.
Yeah.
And now it's not about 40, 50 years old. People are having it, in their 20s, in their 18, 17. I have read an article 3 weeks ago. She's 26 years old. she have pancreatic cancer and cervical cancer.
Oh my God.
And she went to the doctor and they told her, she'll be fine. And she just tried to go somewhere else. Second opinion, it was too late, stage 4.
Oh my God.
So at your age, you don't think, oh, that's not for me. But our bodies is not the same. When our parents and grandparents, they just see 80 and they don't have no issues. This is not now. The food is not the same. Nothing is the same. So now it's more than just, the pad and the period and all that. We need to educate and get that part put into it to let them know that it may be more than what it is. Like you said, tie a raincoat around your waist because all that stuff. Have multiple pads with you in your bag when you go places, because some people, when I never had a regular cycle, right? I would see when I was in my teens 3 times a year, if that. So go to the doctor, they say I have hormone imbalance, and they put me on contraceptive. Girl, I took that thing 2 days. My breast was like big. I said, Doc, can't do it. And so he said, that's the mildest one. And, oh, okay, well, it may work if you have a child. My age now, I'm not going to have a child now. So even when I had Brittany, it never balanced years later. And I would have never known. I didn't know what's happening because I thought, well, is it because I'm young why I'm missing it? Or, but through my teens to 20s, I've never had a regular cycle.
Yeah.
So all these things we have to get the word out there, and to let get to be aware that they're okay. Nothing is, they're not, nothing is wrong with them in terms of a person, but medically, there may be some issues that they need to be seen, and make sure they can take care of it from now, so it doesn't get worse later.
Right. And that's why the education for real is so important. Us getting this information out is so important, because you said something, and I mean, you jolted me back. My mom died from cervical cancer. And I remember the conversation I had with her when we just discovered, we didn't know it was cancer. What she said was that she was, after I think, 6 years, she was beginning to have a period again. And so we didn't know what was happening, because again, we're coming from an era where we don't talk about period. We don't talk about the things associated with period. You go to the doctor and you're told you have an hormone imbalance. Nobody's talking about it. Everything is taboo. Everything is private. Everything is secret. Nobody is, talking about these things. And so I found that, so when she said she was seeing a period for every after after 6 years of no period, she was now beginning to have a period every month. Guys, what we didn't recognize is that she had developed cervical cancer. And by the time that was July, by the November, it was confirmed that it was stage 4 cervical cancer. And by the following September, she was dead. So the need to know, educate our girls. And not only that, but I also found too that again, when you're growing up, and the fact that you start seeing a period and you're told, make sure so you're having a period every month and stuff, you're grateful for the period. But then as we move into adulthood, you realize now that, okay, this period is needed to have a child, and here comes, I can't have a child, so there's so much to this whole period poverty thing. I want to wrap this part up, because again, today, July 15th, I have ended the period poverty campaign collection. It's, to get into distributing, but how can we, I want each of you to just share, how can we literally play our part? Those are listening, because we're streaming live on YouTube as well. How can we play our part to, one, end the stigma? Because again, we know there are some of our little girls, some start seeing period early, and some of them are before, their other peers starts developing. They're teased. because they're having a period, or they've had an accident. Sorry, they've had an accident in terms of, you know, mess up, and they're teased, they're pushed aside, they're overlooked because they're women. How do we do our part to bring about an awareness and help to stop the stigma? Annika, you want to take it first?
For me, let us continue talking about it. Let us share our story, you know, to everyone that we can share our story with, to empower them so that they will learn something from us to make their corrections, and they will teach somebody else along the way. That is for me. Share my story. Use our mediums that we have, our social media pages, stuff like that. When we see a young girl and we can talk to them, let us talk to them so that they understand that what is going on is real, and they will be educated from that, and, you know, take care of themselves better. They will go out and get added knowledge as to what is going on to enhance themselves.
As a matter of before Venice, I think you're gonna go. Before we go, I have another video that I had done. I had a talk with a gynecologist, and she was sharing, because I don't know how many of us also know how important it is for us to be changing those sanitary napkins. Staying in a sanitary napkin all day is not hygienic, but she goes into a lot more depth of why is it so important to be changing, why is it so important to have good period health, and that kind of thing. And so that's one of the reasons, again, too, we really want to be educating persons. We want to be doing our part. But before I come in with all the other stuff as to how we can help, let me go over to you, Venice.
Okay, great. Well, education is definitely the key, as what Anita said. You have to consider conversation, start the conversation if you will, and you might have children at home, daughters. What if you don't have any? You have nieces, you have your own family members, you have a church setting where you might be a part of the Sunday school program, or even get involved with school community or the PTA. Yes, so you have different avenues to get this information out. I know my daughter, she's 11, she would come home and tell me that they have regular conversations about period, and they get the little napkin samples and asking the questions. So I feel very good to know that they start the education very early at that age. So we just continue with the conversation. That will help. And also for those persons we may know not able to afford it, then definitely we can try our best to see how we can assist.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Venice. Carito, your take on the matter. So, you know, how do we play our part?
Well, for me, not living in Jamaica, it's a little bit hard, right? But for me, is with my platform that I have and my business, um, I am I am willing to work with you in any way possible to, if we can get to an organization or whatever is, I don't know, for a woman or a young woman, whatever it may be, because we can talk to a face turned blue. The problem is still there, right? And what two of the other guests, that yes, you're right. You need to educate. You need to, get it out there and stuff like that. But we still need the work. We still need to get them in hand, because that's the reason why we're here, right? So for me is, um, let us see how we can get organization together, and knowing that we know it is going to get into the right hand, and it's going to be distributed to the people who are in need. And in the same breath, keep on with the conversation, and highlight on education to let them be aware, because each one teaches one. And so when just like the two other ladies, when you talk to your family, you don't have kids, you don't have girls, but as you said, church group, wherever, it's a conversation that needs to be had. And if we can get all these platform, the radio station, whatever, and can talk about it. The gynecologists, like you stated, come out there, maybe do pamphlets, stuff like that, so put them in schools, because they said kids started early. Put pamphlets in schools of what it is about so they can be some awareness, they can read about it and get it going. And hopefully we can see some changes.
Awesome. That's so true. Thanks, Carito. Well, I must say that I have not yet met her. There's this lady here, Her Flow, and I know for a long time she's been championing that cause. I noticed the other day she had teamed up with Shelley and Fraser and Yendi Phillips and a few other celebs to raise, I know they had raised about 200,000 packs of sanitary napkins from the Always brand. So that was great. So there are people out there that's doing their part. And so here at Uniquely Me, because we are mainly focusing on building our women and of course nurturing our girls, we have done our part. A number of persons came on board, and I so want to thank everybody that came on. The goal was to raise 1,000 packs of sanitary napkins, and we have raised 1,000 packs. I'm sure we're going to be over because there are some persons who have mailed them. I mean, I got calls from UK, all over the world, because this is a global, it's a pandemic, literally. It's if you put in period poverty in Google or even on YouTube, it will amaze you the amount of persons, the amount of countries and women who are being impacted, and the kind of impact, the negative impact it is having on them. But while we are here in Jamaica, we are going to be doing our part. So in short order, I will be putting out how we are going to be distributing. We have started. Last week, I partnered with Resurrected Garvey. I gave her some, that because she goes into the prisons and she and distribute, and she had also gone to a girls' home. So far we have started. So that video is also up. More than likely, I'm going to put a link to it somewhere after we finish this live, so persons can see that, hey, you can still do your part. I have been getting the questions too, will we continue? Because Carita, like you and I were talking, that it's one thing that we give a set of sanitary napkins this month, but they're going to be used up. What will they do? What will the girls and women do 3-4 months down the road? So how do we keep this momentum going? Because again, we didn't even touch on the matter of price, because that's another thing, the price of these, not just sanitary napkins, but also all the personal care things that we need. And we're discovering, like I said, that it's not just about not having a pack of sanitary napkin or have pads on hand, but it is so much more things that is associated with it. The low self-esteem, the stigma, the shame that goes with it, how it allows us to not care for ourselves in the way that we ought to, and stuff. But us coming out and talking about it, and making a big thing about it, the more voices that comes on, the louder the effect and the greater the effect as well. So ladies, let me thank you so much for coming on. Carita, you're all the way over there in foreign. Thank you. And Annika, I know you and I have been talking about it. Thanks for coming on and sharing the realness, about that period poverty is a thing. And it's not just about our young girls. It happens to our young ladies or adult ladies, because you're here as an example, just sharing as well. So thank you so much, guys. Make sure that you're watching. Put your comments down in the box, or any questions you have or so. I haven't seen any that needs to be answered now, but yeah, we're here. You have an idea as to how we can reach more for girls, let me know. So we are going to move into segment 2. I don't know if you ladies want to stick around, because Venice is going to take the floor. We're going to be talking about savings and investment. So it's like I said earlier on, that it's moving 2 different ends of the spectrum. We're talking period and we're talking money. Money tonight. So Venice, let me say thanks again for coming on, for accepting my invitation to come on and talk money with us tonight. I decided on doing a Thursday night live on my YouTube channel, because it's not just enough to hear the stories of our women, of their struggles and their traumas. It is even greater when we can talk about their transformation and help them, walk them through that transformation aspect of things. And I'm happy that Careta and Annika will stick around, because I'm going to need you guys to share about your business. So, we'll bring some publicity to it. But
Sure.
Venice, talk with us a little, share with us a little, who you are, the name of your company, and what gives you the authority to speak to us on money.
Well, thank you very much for your invite. I'm not sure about the authority, but I can tell you that I have been in this business for over 17 years. Maybe that gives me some authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about making sure that we make wise decisions for ourselves and for
It is very important that we understand savings and investing. And I'm going to tell you there's a big difference between savings and investing.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, I have paid fee partner, and I work at the BPM Financial Limited for the last 17 years. Okay?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So
I noticed you did the sign language a while ago. Is it that you're trained, what you call it, sign whatever?
no, it's just a funny way of saying my name, because if I don't say Chin C, people think that my name is Chin Su or Chini or something. So
Okay. So the
that's a
matter,
funny way of doing it.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the matter of savings and the investment, because of course, we tend to think that if you're not saving with the corporate, or if you're not doing money business with the corporate companies in Jamaica, like the corporate banks, the First Caribbean, the NCB, those kind of banks, that it's not a bank, it's not worth discussing, it's not worth entertaining. But tell us, what is it that your company does?
Well, we do investment and we prefer to educate before we sell you something. So yeah, I'm very big on educating. And the first place I want to go is educating you about inflation. We hear about inflation all the time, yes, but what is it really? And this is the point where you're going to see things in a different light. So listen carefully. Inflation eats away the purchasing power from our money. Good? Now we have to know the rate of inflation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now listen, if you had $1,000 in 2004, it could purchase 30 loaves of bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
Last month, that $1,000 could buy
Maybe just
3
two.
loaves.
You're lucky you get 3 or 2.
And then this month, all right, but this month now it's only 2 loaves. So basically what is happening is that inflation eats away the purchasing power from your money. So you find that you don't have enough. Now, what is it that you're going to do? Now, you have to look at what is really safe. So we are used to saving in the regular banking system. So I am not here to bash banks or credit unions, but just to give you a different perspective. Investing is really adding more value to the saving that you already have, right? So listen out. If inflation is between 6 and 7% per annum, and you're getting 0.5% at the bank, it means that you are behind inflation. That means you have no purchasing power. Now, even though the banks tell you that your money is insured, it is safe, but safe against what if you are not able to buy the same goods and services? So, what is it that you're going to do that makes a difference? You're going to invest your money so that it beats inflation and beats it by far, right? So, when you try to invest your money and beat inflation, then there comes risk. So this is the part where persons say risk. I work hard for the money, I'm not going to take no risk with my money at all. So this is where the real conversation really starts. So what is really risk? I want to tell you. Yes, I want to tell you some.
There are two ways that you can invest. You're listening carefully.
Yeah, your internet. I think we lost lost your audio a little bit there.
You're hearing it clearly now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great.
Just to go through a little. So you have sharing with us that the first thing we want to understand before we even talk about saving and investment is understanding how our money, for want of a better word, is working for us now. And inflation is that which, because you're giving us some economics here and some stuff. But just before you go into that, I mean, Carita, I've been let me see, 100. Hold on, plugging back this something. 100 US is about 15,000 Jamaican, roughly. And when I check it, hold on, when I forgive me, I'm having a little audio trouble. Right. When I check $15,000 give me maybe 2 pounds of flour, maybe one chicken, maybe a box of milk or a tin milk. And if I put sanitary napkin in there, that's almost $1,000. And so I probably get a 1 week. Me no know, Anika, you can back me up. I probably get a 1 week.
1 week grocery.
1 week set of grocery. In your neck of the woods, how much would 100 US? What amount of food or so it would have given you?
Well,
1 week or 1.5 weeks, the most. That's the most for me.
well,
Depending on what we buy it to.
well, on
Yes.
average, it just depends on what you get because for me, that will be for a week, depends on what I have, what I purchase. And so 100, well, 100, you have to be $100 a week.
Yeah.
Sorry, right? So the minimum that I will go to the grocery store and spend is $200, right? And that's the minimum, and that will be for a week, right? Give and take. And that's just at one grocery store. Then you go to all of the other grocery stores. So by the time you work it up, you can be $300.
I'm just wanting us to see, the value of money in depending on where you are,
And
and that as Venice saying, inflation does impact all of us. And guys, while we're at it, there's something I want to do. I don't know if I can get a few people to come on board with this. I've been trying to see if take 5,000 Jamaican dollars, see what it gets us here, and convert that same $5,000 in several other countries and see what it gets us, just to understand the value of our money and how when we stock up, for instance, wherever you are, when you stock up your money against another country's money, the value that it brings. But then Venice, over to you. You're the expert here to say if we're spending too much on food or we're spending too little or really and truly where money just can't reach it.
So I like the fact that you brought in Miss Davis to find out what is the value of her dollar versus Jamaican dollars. Because US dollars, there are three things that people say that. You have US dollars, you have stock, and real estate.
mhm,
So if you were to send that money to Jamaica, that would mean a lot to us. But
I
Jamaica,
will.
that we were able to give you probably better rates than what you would get where you are. Yes, we have a lot of persons from overseas who invest in the US market in Jamaica. So it does give you, it edges you against inflation. And if you're to buy stocks, then you're going to be able to probably double up that money in 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. It depends on how long you plan to invest for. So the little money that you have can do a lot if you do the right thing. And doing the right thing is placing your money in the right type of investment. So remember earlier I said it is around three different types of instruments that you can invest in so that your body can think inflation. So it's not where you work, it's not how much you get, it's what you do with what you get that makes the big difference. Yes? And there are two types of people out there. You have the lenders and you have the owners. So that's a big difference. You know why?
Mm-hmm.
The investment option that seems to be very safe and secure is you letting your money to either a government or a private institution. Good? So they promise to give you a certain rate of return for a quote unquote guaranteed investment. So if you put the money at the bank, you know that it's safe because it is insured with ADIC. By the way, you only get back some of the money, not all of it. So if you have $1 million, or they have $2 billion, you only get back 1.2 billion dollars of your money. So the point I'm making is if your money is safe and secured and it is behind inflation, it is a big risk that you're taking. You're losing purchasing power. So if you are an owner, it means that you are now invested in other companies, that you have shares in the company, and that's a big deal. Because you have to understand your role as a consumer, first of all, before you even start investing. Who am I in this marketplace? What is my role in the economy? Does my money make a difference? Can I tell you whether you're working or not working, you have to spend? You're a consumer, you have to spend. So what is is going to be different. So listen up. As a consumer, you have to buy product with that services. What? Now, somebody made those product goods and services because the theory good is can't eat the money. So you have to buy the product goods and services. And we talk about food. We're spending too much on food, but what type of food? But we have to eat. And I love to use grace. So let us say we're buying grace products. And I know grace is in foreign, so I know I'm not speaking a different language. So we have grace. So you buy grace, you eat it and you feel good, and you make grace more profitable. But what is happening to you now, this baby? Uh, and Anita, you are what? Feeling good, don't you? So stick with the conversation now. You buy to eat it, you feel good, and you make grace more profitable. And for years, you buy it and eat it and feel good, and make grace more profitable, and you feeling good, and you're wondering, how come I don't have any money, I just feeling good. So, so now I am an investor. So look at the other client now. So I am an investor. You buy it, eat it, feel good, make grace more profitable, and I get to share into the profit while you feel good. Then you wondering how come you can't have no money? How comes them over there to have more money than me? How comes them not making it in a life more than you? Because you're not doing the right thing. You're not investing your money in the right instrument. You're not an owner. You're just a lender. But being an owner carry risk. So what is the risk? And is it really that much of a risk? So listen now. When you become an investor, you're going to buy, eat it, feel good. Then your money go over great, go work, and work hard. Then great, work the money some more, make some profit, and say, here is some profit or gain from the company. So you have now gotten back some returns on your money. No.
You know, I've never heard it like this broken down so nicely, Venice. And guys, if you're just tuning in, I know we have some persons over on YouTube as well. If you're just tuning in, yes, it's uniquely me. Don't mind the writers workshop up the top up there. It's our Thursday night live, and tonight we are, if you missed the first part, we talked everything period, but now we're talking savings and investment, money, for want of a better word. And we have the expert Venice online here from BPM Financials sharing with us, and she just shared with us how we can not just eat the food, grace food, and feel good, but how we can make sure that the money we give them comes back to us. So over to you, sister.
Quite everything that you do, you have to think as an investor. How can I participate, feel good, and get a return? Simply put, how are you going to make a return? So now, when you look at all the companies that are listed on the stock exchange, that is how you're going to decide which one you want to buy and how you're going to invest in those companies. So now, you have two ways how you can go about doing it. Good? Because we all don't have all the information, and even when I tell you this evening, you're not going to get everything. So you can go to a stock brokerage house and you can say to them, "Boy, I really, really love grapes. I want to buy some grapes. I want to buy some Lasco, some NCB, some Sefran," and you name it. And then you own it. But you have to manage it yourself. You have to decide when to buy, when to sell, and you have to have the knowledge, the skills, and the time. So ask yourself, do I have the knowledge, the skills, and the time to do it? And guess what? You can make a lot of money from doing that. And there are not one way to make money, there are a lot of ways. But if you know that you don't have the knowledge, the skills, and the time, then you're going to look for a portfolio management company. And that is where BPM Financial Limited comes in. We manage the portfolio for you. We take on all the risks. We know when to buy, when to sell. We just send you a report every 3 months. But before you even get into all of that, what I want you to understand is the basics so that you can make the decisions for yourself.
Right.
Keep you with enough information. So first we talk about inflation. Your body must beat inflation. Second of all, you need to know if you are a lender versus an owner. If you have all your money lending out, you're going to get the lowest rate because right now, at the bank, you're getting 0.5 before tax. At the credit union, you might be getting, by the way, what is the credit union? I have to ask, because as you said, your open conversation is maybe you know all these banks that you're doing business with and you feel good about it. And we know there are other ways to make money. But when you take your money to the bank, which is a deposit taking institution, they take your money and lend it out. Did you know that? Yes. And they make far more money because you lend them your money and you get 0.5 before tax. So when you go to the credit union, what is the credit union set up for? What is the credit union?
A pool. I'm not sure. Is it a pool? I'm not sure.
Okay, well, the credit union is there to give credit. That is their core function. So again, they take your money and they unlend it. And who makes more money from that? They do. So let's follow now. So if your money is behind in face, and this is where you're going to spin it around and become an owner because you have more control over how you earn and how much you can earn, right? So, for example, I bought NCB shares at $30. That was around 10 years ago. I believe it's 10 years ago. And before Corona came, it was at $240. And then it dropped to $140. The question to you is, did I make money or not?
You made a little loss.
It went to 240. It is now at 140. Did I make money or not?
Depends on where you trade
You
it.
did, but then you lose it. You did it first, but then you had it's kind of a loss, but you still have it. So eventually you're gonna get it back up at some point.
Okay, because you're an owner.
Exactly.
So that's because if you own shares into NCB, NCB is in the business to make money. So if NCB is in the money in business to make money, they are going to find a way how to make it back.
Mm-hmm.
So even last year when things looked so bad, and everywhere around the world, businesses closing down, they can't operate, etc. They're still thinking about how can I make money? How can I make back this money? So if it takes them sending out people, unfortunately, laying off persons, merging, selling some part of the company, they're going to find a way how to make it back. So the point is, I made a good amount of money I lost some of the money, but if I keep it, I will make it back over time because the company is busy trying to make back that money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why your money will always grow, beat inflation over time, but because there's a risk. So I like to tell the story. Well, not even a story. Use the analogy of a pool. So we have a swimming pool, and we're a lifeguard. Good. So when it comes to the swimming pool, we have three different categories. So follow me carefully on the swimming pool thing where work out with your body and all these things. Now, the people who splash, before they get into the water, they think that they are going to drown, that they're afraid. So when they finally get into the pool, where do you think those people stay?
At the edge.
Right, exactly. Right at the edge.
Right at the edge of the pool because they're afraid and they think about it before they even get it there. So we call them the splashers. Those people invest in government paper instruments. They're in the bank, they're in the credit union, they're all over, but they're earning below inflation and they keep on splashing for the rest of their lives. And they will never get above those rates. But to you, your principal is safe and secure because your $1,000 is still there. But remember, your $1,000 buying less goods and services and you're losing bread. So what about the people who really swim up to the roof? Yeah, but the like them kind of people. They move away from the splashers. They swim up to the roof. But while going up to the roof, they start to boy water not to pass me here, it not to pass me here, so and it definitely must to pass me doors. I want to call those people taking a risk with limitation. You see the risk, you know that the water is getting deeper, you know you assess it, but you said, all right, I am willing to go deeper into the pool, but I am not willing to pass the rope. These are the people who are more interested in investing in local stocks, overseas stocks, US dollars, government paper, instruments. Yes, and then you can earn rates between 12 to 16% growth rate per annum. The question to you is that a good rate? And why you think is a good rate?
Compared to inflation, if you compare it to inflation, then you'll say it is a good rate, huh? Because we're always measuring against inflation.
Uh-huh. So there's another important point. You are an owner. You own shares into companies, and companies are in the business to make profits, even though they make losses sometimes. But when they make losses, they're going to find a way how to make it back. But we balance it out. We give you a little risk, a little return. We give some of the money is in government paper instruments, so you're lending and owning at the same time. Imagine that. So there's a good balance, lend and own. But suppose you are going to dive off into the pool, take greater risk. When do you go to a pool and you say you want to dive, or you look at the people who dive in, what you see them do most of the time? I tell me what you would do. That's everything I can't do, because I know you must go to the pool and you see what other people do.
Annika, if they're like my children and your children, I guess them chuck off in
Aye.
the pool, but they do so because they can swim. Their risk tolerances, we call it 0 or higher.
Their risk tolerance is very high. Yes. So the thing is, I want you to follow me how you assess the situation. Because if I go to the pool, the first thing I do is look how deep it is. Because even though I can dive and I can swim and I can float, you want to know if it's deep enough so that it can manage the body weight when we dive off into the pool. And I don't hit the head. But suppose I can't dive and I still want to dive. What am I going to do? I am going to ask for a life jacket. Yes, I am going to ask for a life jacket and I'm going to say to the lifeguard, come here. So watch me good right here so because I want to dive off into the pool. The people who dive will take higher risks and the returns are greater because those people can earn between 20 to 28.9% growth rate per annum. Though, is that a good rate?
Excellent.
Excellent. So the higher the risk, the higher the return. The deeper the pool is, the greater the return because your body is concentrated in buying only stock. So you're now in full ownership of all these wonderful companies that are listed on the stock exchange. So you are able to navigate your way and earn more. But if you split up the pool in three categories and say, what is the goal that I'm working towards? How much risk I'm willing to take? That will help you to decide where in the pool you go. If you have a short-term emergency backup money just in case something happens, kind of money go splash. Because 1 to 2 years you out, you're splashing. If you have a plan for 3 to 5 years, you can take some risk, but not too much risk. Then go and swim up to the rope, go a little bit deeper into the pool, take some risk with limitation, beat inflation, and make your money work for you. And if you know that your goal is 5 years or longer, you know that you need this money to buy a house, pension, retirement, children education, something substantial, then you need to stay in the pool for as long as you can, 5 years or longer. And that is where you earn far more because you are buying into those companies that makes a big difference. So I want to make sure that you understand. You have any questions?
Well, I'm loving what you have. I don't know if my other two ladies have any questions before I ask you a question that I have.
I want to ask this Anita a question. Why? You think that investment is for you? Is you think investment is for a certain type of people?
Can you repeat that, please?
Do you think investment is for you or you think investment is for certain type of people?
At a point, I thought it was for a certain type of people, but tonight I know that it is for me and it is for everybody because in the pool, there's 3 different sections in the pool. They can go right ahead and invest.
Right. But then you have to understand that your body, you care who you are in this world. You are a consumer. And
Yes.
you have to buy product, goods, and services like everybody else. But your body has to beat inflation for it to be working for you.
Okay.
And if it is not working for you and it is behind inflation, that is where you're losing purchasing power. So
Yeah.
it is for everybody, the care of big or small as what it is. So that is another thing to Thank you very much. No, that is another thing. Some people think that when you invest, you have to have a whole lot of money.
And that's exactly where I was going to go now, Venice, because again, I think we've been cultured again to think that unless you have a couple millions, that you can't, no
Yes.
matter look for investment. So
Yeah.
we know, yes, we've heard about the government bonds and the this and the that, but again, if you with your little $10,000, gone are the days. Because I remember when in my mother's days, when you have when you have 100,000 in time they used to rich. No, I tell persons I can go out with 100,000. Me can shop, me can done that within an hour, right, Carita?
Oh, quickly.
That's like 1,000 US or not even 1,000,
Oh,
maybe 800 US. Can done that and ask for more, But the thing is, that's where I want us to go now, Venice. How much are we talking about the different parts of the pool? What amount? Because we're not going full reserve. There are some big players, right? And we know that the big players, we really can't go over the side there. But there, you've obviously made it quite open that the pool can take all of us.
Yes.
What kind of investment? If I'll have a little $10,000, because remember now, a number for women are going through transformation. Yes, you have those who are the professionals and running their own businesses, but you have those who are the middle managers, are there the counter clerks, and from time to time they get a little bonus, or they might get a little retro or something to that effect. How do we invest that little money? Because one of my thing has always been, when you get an increase or you get a retro, it's nothing that you went planned for. especially if it came as a surprise. So you can't tell me, so well, you get an extra 20,000 or extra $50,000 and it kind of done because you never expect it. So I always say, why not save a portion of it? Or if depending on where you are, take all of that and save it because you weren't expecting it. You didn't budget for it. Why not invest it? You know, but how much are we looking at, and what do your company offer or recommend that we could put that little money in? Because again, let's not fool ourselves. Here in Jamaica mainly, and in most other parts of the world, you are told to stick with the bank, and we know the next best thing, go put it under your bed.
All right. So listen, I really, really, really enjoy telling people about money and what they face them why I don't have enough money. Can I tell you? You have enough money, you know, so one book of full basket every little they can book you. You can do much you do little that you have. Because it's not where you work, it's not how much you get, it's what you do and what you get. So to be quite frank, to buy all of these great companies, you're going to need some money, right? So let us say you need $100,000 to start investing into some of these top companies, but you don't have the $100,000. Start with what you have. What is it that you have available in your hand? Do you have a little $5,000? Can you start with the $5,000 as splash, and then you build it up? And then when it gets to $100,000, you feel excited. You just call the lifeguard and you say, listen to me. To reach $100,000 now, I am ready to swim up to the rope, or I am ready to dive off into the pool, because you want to be in a position to own some of these solid companies like Apple, Google, Mastercard, Facebook, Alibaba, Netflix, Amazon. You want to own some of these local companies that you have been buying and consuming all this time. So yes, start with little what you have, build it up, and as soon as it gets to $100,000, you're able to do more. The point is, if your money is behind inflation, it lazy. Yes, it lazy. We call it lazy money. It's not work, it's not earning, it's not doing. It is lazy. So we want you to get rid of that lazy money. So you start splashing in the pool with what you have, build it up, and it is in the Gold Savers Club, and you earn 3% per annum. Those 3% is still behind inflation, but it's better than 0.5 at the bank, and it's far better than it under your mattress too. So start with what you have. Here's something here for everybody. So no matter fool yourself and say, boy, I don't have enough money, don't the rich people over there is earning. No, how are you going to get over here if you don't start? So a lot of people think about it, they talk about it, they dream about it. I am saying, just do it. Jump into the pool. Get started, because you will earn far more over time as long as you understand that risk is in everything that you do. If you leave it behind inflation, that's a risk. If you understand what the risks are and you are willing to take it, then over time you will make far more money. But let me explain when I say risk. If you invest in companies, companies make profit and losses, right? So if they make losses, that means they make losses. If you make profits, you're going to make profits too. One thing.
I'm loving where this is going, Venice. So if they make loss, we make a loss. If they make a profit, we make a profit. Guys, if you're just tuning in, just to let you know, or you've been with us, and I mean, please comment in the box below that you are getting you're getting substance from this. It's real talk tonight. Let me ask Careta, I mean, what Venice has been sharing, are you aware of all of this, or is this new for you?
Oh no, it's been there, and it's the same thing. Like I said, money is money, right? And what is $10? $10 is $10, right? We know we're going to equivalent it out to where you are versus where I am, right? But it's the same $10 if you look at it from that perspective, right? So when you talk about earlier, um, 10,000, whatever it is to you, $100, it's still $100 no matter what. It's what that $100 in where you are, what it covers versus where I am, what it covers. But the end day, it's still $100, right? And the same is investment, the same way. Yeah, credit unions, that's what they give you credit. You can get more out of a credit union than you would get through a traditional bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, all of those, right? Just as I think it would be down there with NCB or whatever down there, right? So it's the same prospect. How for my business is travel, right? And nobody, we know what happened, right? It's dead. No traveling, nobody in booking. I am, I still have overheads to pay.
Yeah.
Who's gonna pay it, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, if you should get well, we don't get bonus because it's your own company, but if you should come up with an extra $2,000 or $1,000, I can blow $1,000 in 20 minutes, easy, right? And then maybe just pair two shoes and two bags, and yeah, it's over, right?
Yeah.
So, would I invest that $1,000 and say, well, what can I buy stocks, right? The stock market is going to go down with whatever it's going to do, but you're still in the game, as she said. So it's the same prospect, it's the same way, but she puts it in a way, in layman terms, where you can really see
Yeah.
the full value of what it is. Because I think when it talks with money, most people use these terminology that we don't even know what the heck they're saying, right? And you're so confused. You know, by the time you walk out of there, you're more confused than before you arrive.
Yeah.
But how she's saying it, it's making it understand, hey, I don't have $50,000 to invest or $45,000, but I have $1,000. Can I start investment? Yes, I have 500, because that 500 going to go to 1,000,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So it's just the way that I think it's a concept to let us start to think of investment, not saving, because there's two different things. I can save
Right.
towards miscellaneous for my home, towards anything. That's a saving because I can go back and tap into it. An
Right.
investment, I'm not touching it, right? As she said, depends on the years. If you say one for 2, 3 years, whatever you want it for, once I invest, then okay, I will reap it later. So she's great at what she's doing, and it's so simplified. And
Yeah.
I think with your listeners, I hope that they take away and go back home or with their spouses or whoever and said, hey, guess what? I think we can put aside that $500. Let's see how we can invest it and start to build that future, because it's not been taught or talked enough to
Yeah.
let people know that they can invest. I think it's just too broad, or only the big people can invest, but never the small man that can go in and try and start and make it be something that they look forward
So, yeah.
to their future, for their retirement, for travel, whatever it may be. So
Right.
it's great that you're having this conversation, and I hope that they take it not literally, but
Yeah.
take it to heart and start now
Yeah.
in investing with
Oh,
whatever they can start with.
awesome. Awesome. That's so true. Venice,
Very well.
I'm coming to you. Yeah, man. We're learning. I mean, Annika, you would have been you're a business owner as well, right? And have had to you've had to close down business due to COVID, but at the same time, you have found a way to make your money work for you to start another business. What part of this conversation, has you found interesting, or anything that you can add regarding you having to transform yourself to fit in to make your money work for you, for instance, during this COVID time?
I took away the part that in the pool there is, because that's new knowledge to me. Because for me, you thought that is only if your money not up, you can't invest. But now you understand that you can carry your money come. In Jamaica, we say a little bit of money, we can carry it come and invest, you know. So that brought a light to me that I can invest, I can take away to my business and then add back to it in later years. That's what stood out to me.
I love that. I love that. Venice, it is so important because Annika, both ladies are business owners. And I mean, you've heard them both sharing, you know, the knowledge that you're sharing tonight. And I'm sure I have a number of other persons, because Thursday night is also about, you know, the whole woman in business aspect of things, talking finances and that kind of thing. It again, say for instance, like I know Annika, so Annika giving you some free publicity here now. Annika
Thank you.
sells bags and what else again?
Bag, belts, sunglasses, bag, belts, sunglasses, lip glosses.
All the girly stuff, and so you have to import them, right?
Yes, yes.
Just the import. And so the thing is, it is with inflation, with the US dollar moving consistently, with number of persons losing their jobs and most persons working from home now. So nobody not dress up and that kind of thing to go out anymore. You know, how does she make her money? And that's where I want you to go. Because we probably have about another 5 to 10 minutes and we want to wrap it up. How does she now invest? So you have a client. A matter of fact, I want you to build a case around maybe all three of us. You have Annika, right, who has to import her goods, and all the other things that comes with it. You have Careta. Careta is into travel, right? Give us dive into that a little, because I don't understand that spirit on Careta. How you know, between inflation and COVID has impacted your dollar.
Me, you talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's impacted because a whole year.
Now, what
nobody
kind of
traveled.
business is it? It's travel, right? Tell us how that part of it, how it works.
Well, because okay, so all that I had prior to cancel. So everything is commission based,
Okay,
right?
travel agency, like independent
Yes, it's a
travel
travel
agent.
agency, right? So you book through me. I go to the vendor. I have to get it's commission based. Every travel agency, that's what it is. So I am here stuck, dead, no money. So I have to rely on what? This is a whole year, right? No one's expecting this. So now I'm in the red. And how am I going to get myself out of it? I have to start it like start a new business, really, because everything that you did then, even if you do it now, it's a different world. It's a
Completely different,
different
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
right? And the whole aspect of it is now, like she's saying, let me see here. So I have this is where it comes in. I have savings, right? Or I have a budget where I put aside. That's going to be gone. That's an investment, right? So now, whatever I invest, I can't get it now. I can't go and touch it, right? Have I lost? Yes. But like she stated, it's going to come back because what? We are all in it together, right? So my money that I have, use the word had, gone. Now I have started over. So for her, when she says investment, it's like, okay, what can I do different now to say, well, okay, I was investing X. Now, if I should get an extra $500, would I go buy a pair of shoes, or would I go invest that $500? Because now my thinking has changed because of what has happened, right? So
Right.
now it's like, okay, I got to invest in myself, right? That $500 pair of shoes that I was going to go get, when I invest that $500, I can buy 10 of those because I'm going to make that money to buy 10 later, right? So stop from thinking about the now, but more of the future. And
Awesome.
that's it for me.
Awesome. Why, Venice, you need to partner with Careta, you know, because you have this thing locked. but,
So,
but like myself and Annika, we know we just constantly thinking because our business kind of revolve around stuff that we need to keep replenishing. You know,
yes.
how do we build now? How do we pick out, set aside a little part of that? Show us the value of making that sacrifice and putting it aside, knowing that, I mean, Carita had her own real life experience that COVID hit and her business literally took a hit. Like she said, she has to be redoing herself. Same thing with Annika. Annika had another business, COVID again. She had to lock it down. She had to reinvent herself. For me, yes, I have a stable income, but we know that anything redundancy can come in, different things can come in. How do we now? And that's what I want you to spend the next 2 minutes because we're gonna wrap up. How do we really position ourselves? Three different situations, and I'm sure persons on can identify how do we position ourselves to invest, and then I'm going to ask you to share how we can reach you.
Okay. So I want to use back the same pool analogy again, right? Short term, medium term, long term. We may not have the lump sum money to start into one of those big investments that will give her the desired amount of money now or the return. But if you start in the splashing section with whatever small amount you can afford now, then do that. As soon as things start to change for you and your business comes back around, and probably two different types of businesses that you're doing, you have to learn to separate. Yes, you have to put aside something for your pension or retirement or long term. So you're going to learn to separate those funds. If you can't separate it into three different categories, you must have two distinctly clear categories: the splasher section and the diving section. Because the splashing section is going to help you in times, difficult times like this, so that if, and we pray that we never see another pandemic, but if something happens like this again, you have this little resource to rock back on and you leave that long-term money to stay there and work. And if you need to use something from it, at least you have something there so that you can go to it. But that money would have been there to double up and triple up and hopefully couple and people over time. But you have to start from ground zero, start from there. If you still have a little something leave, then you have to look at where you put your money that makes a difference, because it still don't make sense for you to have all of that money into a quote unquote safe account when it is behind inflation. Now, if you do overseas business, like you buy bags and other things that you need to import, you need to probably have a US investment account where you keep a little money into US dollars, because it will always keep it pace with inflation. So you get the little money, so you buy a little US or you earn US, you put it in the US maximizer. The US maximizer will keep you afloat. It will keep in pace with inflation. So when price of goods and services increase, you're able to get the same value. And I still like to use the bread story again. You want to wake up and buy the same amount of bread, twice the amount of bread, or the factory that makes the bread. But you have to start now with what you have and do the best that you can with either the little you're going to start with or what you already have, you split it out. But you have to have two clear different categories and know the reason, the goal, the purpose for you to be invested. Because just like your business, if I were to invest in your company, if it was listed on the stock exchange, and things that working out the way how you want, what would you say to me, the shareholder? What are you going to say to me? You cannot afford to pay me now, just wait. This is what I would do. I would say to you, listen, business don't really turn out the way over want, but I have a good plan, right? I have good management in place. I have a good system. So can you give me some time for me to for me to recover from those losses And that's exactly what the businesses are asking for you to do right now. The big NCB, the Scotias, they are suffering some type of losses. And there are some companies that never made any loss at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Grace. Yes, Grace didn't make any loss whatsoever. They made this was the best year. And I can tell you that we recently had a meeting at my company, and last year was our best year. Imagine that. How come last year become our best year?
You
Because
know,
we had certain things in place before, long before a pandemic, before we even know the word.
mm,
So when this hit, we were able to put certain things in place.
yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
if you have this in place, it teaches you a valuable lesson. You need to get those things going now, put in place, short term, medium term, long term plan. You need to have a plan. Um, and you need to beat inflation all the time.
Awesome. Awesome. I thank you so much for this, Venice. I mean, for me, I could talk money all day long, you know. But you gave us some real valuable information tonight. And I think for me, the takeaway is recognizing now that the playing field is not just about the rich or those who have it. We all can play in this pool, right? Just understanding where we are, which section of the pool we fall in,
Yes.
and and hold your own dear self. As splashy as splash, go and hold yourself. If you can move a little further but not deep, but not jump off, go on. But if you see where you can jump because you can swim, or you see a proper lifeguard in place, why not take it? Where can persons find you, Venice? Because you obviously have the knowledge, especially those here in Jamaica. I mean, see Annika shake her head and give it a thumbs up. So Annika, come check you. Where can we find you?
Okay, we are at 1A Holborn Road. It's 926-0849, or call me on the 383-7975. You can call, text, or WhatsApp me anytime. So if you are passing by Holborn Road, 1A Holborn Road, just stop, say hi. We're also in Montego Bay. We are right where Duxton Express is. We're right across the road from Duxton Express upstairs. So I'm available anytime. So if you just want to ask a question, you don't have to make it formal to say you have to come into the office to meet with me. It would be great if you have the time to do that. But you can just send me a message, and we can talk about it. You might have your family group or family setting that you want to have that conversation started. You can do a Zoom meeting like this and start that conversation. It can be just you and your friend them or your crew, just a vibe and talk about money and how you can invest and make a difference. Then I am willing to have that conversation. So it's just to get the conversation started and also to start investing with what you have, because it's not where you work, it's not how much you have, it's what you do, it's what you have. That makes a difference.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Venice. So guys, there you have it. Worrying about money, worrying about or those who have their side hustle and that extra money, you don't know what to do with it. Here it is. You can invest it, you can take it, you can decide which part in the investment pool you belong and begin to invest that income, because believe it or not, a lot of side hustles are making it, right, doing very well. And so what I've found is that a number of us who are being successful with our side hustles, or entrepreneurial ventures, we don't know what to do with the money. And so before long, if you're not investing wisely, that money, you run the risk of losing that money very quickly. So thank you so much for that, Venice. Thanks so much for coming and sharing. Like I said, I wanted to give my two earlier guests just to share, what their business is about, what the links are that persons can find them, and support what they have. So I'm going to go with you first, Annika. What exactly you do in terms of what do you have to offer, right? And how persons can find you to make their order.
Okay, so the first business is Nika's Wig Girl, where we customize your wig for you. We do it just the way that you like it, color it, whatever you need to be done with the wig. Contact us at Nika's Wig Girl on Instagram. And the next one is Lock Accessoire Closet,
How you spell the Nika?
Neka
Mm-hmm.
apostrophe with an S.
Okay, Nika's
On
World.
underscore wig world.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And you're telling us about the other one?
Yes, we sell bags, sunglasses, and lip gloss, keychains.
What's the
Lock
name of it?
accessoire closet. That's a French word for the accessories.
Spell it.
LACCESSOIRE underscore closet.
Wow. I like that one there. I'm gonna ask you when you're through, go onto when I've uploaded this, go onto the YouTube channel and just put in the comment box, put the names of the businesses there.
No problem. I'll do
All
so.
right. So for all your beauty stuff, ladies, you and your handbags and stuff, go find her. Everybody doing a wig now because nobody now have no time for a hairdresser no more. Is wig your wig it. So Annika got you covered. So Careta, you are into an exciting business. Tell us about that part of it.
Oh, yes. My business is allgetawaytravel.com. And if you go to us and the Facebook, it's Cruise Planners All Getaway Travel. So I've been in travel for 23, 4 years.
Wow.
I've done corporate, I've done leisure, so I've done it all. And so now that I'm doing my own, and it has been, it's very rewarding for me, is to put travel together, whether it is cruising, whether it is a land vacation, whether it is domestic in the US, Jamaica, wherever, Europe, I do it all. And I do weddings, I do groups, churches. We have vendors that just Christians. There's a Christian-based company, and that's all they do. When they want to do a cruise, they go back to Nazareth. They go to Jordan. They do it all. They go all of it. So whatever travel arrangement that you're looking for, I'm here to assist in any way to make your dreams come to reality.
Ah, awesome. And that's why I say it's exciting because, at some point in time, you want to get away with your loved ones, you want to get away with the family. You don't know where, especially now in this pandemic, you want to explore safely, but not sure where to go. And so that's where experts like yourself comes in and shows us where to travel, how to do it, and that kind of thing. Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. And so guys, for me, because I realize that each night I keep forgetting what I do to share what I do. Of course, I run this YouTube channel, Uniquely Me with Simone Stewart. It's an interview platform where I talk with women regarding their stories of trauma and transformation. So, we've been around for over a year now. So if you're out there, you have a story that you think could benefit somebody else, reach out to me. Of course, I am on Instagram at Uniquely Me TV Talk Show. You can reach out to me and we will talk some more. Also, guys, you would probably see, let me see if I can move out of the way. Writers Workshop. Yeah, I am the proud what you call it, proud author of 14 books. I am doing, thank you. I'm about one of them is now being revised. Hopefully I'll get that one out before the month is through. And I just did my course, my writer's course, because I realized that's a demand. Several persons want to leave a legacy in the earth. That's what I call it. You're leaving a legacy on the earth, sorry. And what better way to do it than to leave words, right? Whether you're writing to your daughter, whether you are an expert at something and you want to put it in writing, because guess what? We're in an information age. And so literally every single thing, you can literally write about every single thing. So I help you to put out your book. I call it from blank pages to published author. And we can do that within 12 weeks. So my course is coming out, guys. And the page for that is GDP Writers Workshop. That's also on Instagram. You're going to be hearing a little bit more about that over the next couple of weeks, because I really haven't been pumping it out, but I have been helping persons to write their books. So we're going to make make whole heap of noise about it and that kind of thing. So that's really me in a nutshell, you know, full of stuff, full just overwhelmed sometimes. But again, ladies, thank you so much, so much, so much. It was such a great time. I noticed Venice has dropped off, but I mean, she has given us so much nuggets tonight. Open our eyes a lot more. And so tonight was a real deep dive, if you ask me. Understanding you know, how different aspects of life affects us. And you know what I'm loving about this Zoom thing is that we're not limited now to say, well, because we can't meet, you know, or we need to meet face to face. Zoom allows us to be anywhere in the world, and be able to team up like we are doing here and get our information out. And it's allowing, it's leveling the platform or the playing field. So all of us gets a chance to get that information to play ball on our terms.
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. So thank you again, Annika. Girl, I just absolutely love you. You are a blessing. Thank you so much for
It
coming.
was
and
my
sharing.
pleasure.
I know.
It was.
Thank you. Carita, you know, girl, we go way, way,
I
way,
know. It was
way
great
back.
talking to you. Great seeing you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, oh my God. Girl, we need to link up. You know,
We will.
we need to
We
do a link
will.
up. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, those watching, thank you again. And Venice, who was here, thank you so much. Thanks, guys. So those of you who stayed with me, we've been on for what? Almost 2 hours now. You stayed with us. I really want to know, you know, if you enjoyed tonight, make sure you're putting your comments in down the bottom so we will know. Guys, I keep you informed. Of course, you'll notice we're putting on some short form content as well called YouTube Shorts. Make sure you're also liking those and letting us know what kind of shorts you want to see us putting out. You know, do you want to see me doing some form of, I don't know, jiggy jiggy something? I'm trying to follow my daughter to show me how to do some of these TikTok shorts, you know, kind of thing. But we will get it. Thanks
Okay.
again. I'm going to tune out. It was an
It
awesome
was a
evening.
pleasure.
Yes. Thank you, ladies.
Okay.
So happy that God has placed you all in my life and on this platform. So that's it from me.
Yes, have a
Tata.
good night.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Mm.